Caitlin Clark that's setting out games, or is it the Indiana Fever making Caitlin Clark set out games?
Now, this game is one that they probably had circled with a smiley face by it.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
ESPN just revealed shocking information about Stephanie White after attempting to discredit Caitlin Clark, and it is rocking the WNBA to its foundation. When White made a mistake on live television, it all began. The reality began to come apart at that same instant. What ought to have been a straightforward injury update turned into a suspicion that Caitlin Clark might be purposefully being sidelined by the Fever. The backlash is now erupting.
Now, news broke moments ago that Caitlin Clark will not be playing in tonight's game.
Caitlin Clark is officially out due to what is being described as a right groin issue, and she is currently taking it easy. However, that daily label is beginning to resemble week to week, or perhaps wait until August if you're lucky. According to Holly Rowe of ESPN, Clark just saw a specialist. There was no further harm discovered. There is nothing new to report. Nevertheless, the return date is inexplicably extended to the 3rd week of August. That will be weeks away.
I don't think Caitlin Clark should be kicking any down balls, quite frankly. She should be resting her frickin' leg.
As if it couldn't get any more strange, a video of Caitlin Clark kicking a football while attempting to test out for the U.S. women's national team appears. Nor merely standing there, nor merely having fun. She is utilizing the leg that should be injured. Furthermore, this isn't just any old video. She is now being prevented from participating in games.
Last week, no additional injury was found in that exam and scan. But Stephanie White did tell us that they will be even more cautious with their approach to her return to play this time.
The fans are furious. While some are utterly suspicious, others are devastated. One admirer said, "Why isn't she shooting threes or running the floor if she's healthy enough to swing her leg like that?" The question keeps coming up. Is there something more going on here, or is Caitlin Clark genuinely hurt? Experts can help in this situation. And to be honest, they make a really good point. What if Caitlin didn't choose this at all? What if she isn't playing because of the Indiana Fever? And this is where things begin to feel disorganized.
As you look at their schedule, the 3rd week in August provides a few more practice days where that seems like it's realistic, and while she does remain day-to-day.
Take a look back at the season's beginning. After Caitlin's previous injury recovery, the team threw her back into games without giving her any serious conditioning or practice time. That is verified. However, they're being extra cautious now, stating that she needs to get back into things after ramping up in practice and getting into rhythm with teammates. All of a sudden, you are concerned with recuperation schedules.
That we've got what we've got to continue to grow and connect in those ways, and not, is she available, is she not available?
This is made worse by the organization's communication style. Uncertain news releases using strange wording, such as, "We're making sure she has the right rhythm, and we're protecting her better this time." I don't understand any of this. It all lacks confidence. Furthermore, it doesn't seem at all like Caitlin Clark, one of the most well-known and competitive athletes in America, is making these decisions.
Shooting, and she's been with our athletic training team, and we've been preparing everybody else.
The elephant in the room comes next. What's happening in that changing room? The main character in all of this, Stephanie White, only fueled the flames with her news conference. She discussed outside noise and the necessity of keeping items within the locker room. Would she really need to say that, though, if everything ran well behind the scenes? She made uncomfortable remarks.
Nothing else going on, and no more damage. Now it's just being patient with the process.
When she gave a normal injury update, she didn't sound like a coach. Fans quickly realized that she sounded like someone attempting to clean up a larger problem without saying the wrong thing. It was best expressed by one YouTuber. It appears to be eerie. This is suspicious even in its timeliness. The matchup between the Indiana Fever and the Phoenix Mercury is already tense. Recall that Dana Bonner and Diana Taurasi are involved, and that Bonner left the Fever in really unpleasant circumstances. It's a personal game and drama. Clark isn't on the court for that right now. Clark's benching, according to others, is an attempt to keep her out of the spotlight and out of the crossfire. Others claim it's about avoiding further in-depth inquiries and making headlines. However, one thing is evident. No one still thinks this is a straightforward groin injury.
But I think at the end of the day, we have to be where our feet are. We have to approach every day and every game.
This goes beyond simply managing injuries. This has to do with control narratives and potentially damage control from a group that is attempting to hide something far more significant than they are revealing. And it seems like the truth is getting farther away with each new footage, odd quotation, and game that goes by. The Fever Hope supporters will not simply stop inquiring, as opposed to Caitlin Clark. Not with the biggest star in the league's history, and not when the responses are illogical.
And every day you got to play with a sense of urgency, and sometimes you have to weather storms, and sometimes you have to navigate circumstance, right?
Let's be honest. The most recent news conference for Stephanie White. Yes, nothing was made clearer by that. Actually, the exact opposite result was achieved. On the contrary, it increased suspicion. Halfway through the news conference, you could have wondered, wait, did she just admit there's drama without actually admitting it?
And as most people know, you have to work your way through that, and she did. And she's been really impactful for us off the bench. And we wanted to bring her energy.
What Stephanie said is as follows. We make an effort to keep things private. Now, until you hear her say it, that would seem like a rather typical coach answer. Wary and tight-lipped, almost as if they're attempting to plug a leak before it bursts.
You have to navigate circumstance, right? But I think at the end of the day, we have to be where our feet are. We have to approach every day and every game.
She continued by discussing mental stress, outside rumors, and how difficult it has been to cut through the chaos. Steven, what's that noise? Where is the noise coming from? Whose? Why are we suddenly acting like we're in crisis management mode when everything in that locker room is sunshine and smoothies?
Main thing.
Is she insinuating that there's drama in the locker room? Because this is what I know I'm not tripping here.
To be honest, there was a time when it seemed more like a press conference following a political scandal than a basketball update. It didn't sound like a coach confidently guiding a squad, and it was defensive and ambiguous. It sounded as though someone was attempting to avoid landmines.
I think first and foremost, just the way that she approaches the game.
Additionally, the fans saw it right away. Commoners also didn't hold back. His response encapsulated the thoughts of many others. There is a problem, and that uneasy feeling is still there. It has just become louder, if anything.
Things are looking spooky for Stephanie White. She be low-key sneak dissing.
However, the Phoenix Mercury arrived just when things were getting a little too complicated, and the ghost of drama went away with them. Bonner, Dana. Let's just say that Dana Bonner's departure from the Indiana Fever was not exactly a group hug and a farewell cake for those who are unaware of the circumstances. It was disorganized, the kind of departure that causes the franchisee to sustain bruising. She is now arriving in town with the Mercury as if it were the last boss level.
That seems like a better timetable for a possible Caitlin Clark return, because they have said we will be even more cautious this time, and practice ramp up is going to be essential.
They were right on the money. This game on the schedule wasn't just any game. This one was circled by the Fever, most likely in red ink, with perhaps a small fire emoji next to it. It was a personal matter. This is an unresolved matter. What is the job of Stephanie White? She publicly praises Dana Bonner and the Mercury on record. She settled in. She claimed to feel at ease using that system. Like what?
What kind of a clown show league are we dealing with here? I mean, is this a WNBA problem or a Fever problem? You didn't give her any practice or ramp-up time last time?
Fans are out there attempting to understand why their team is in such disarray, why Caitlin Clark is missing games even though she appears to be in good health, and why Stephanie is suddenly showing more love for the opposition than protecting her own locker room.
You didn't give her any practice or ramp-up time last time? You did not do that.
Now, individuals are posing the pertinent queries. For example, is Caitlin Clark taking a backseat to avoid drawing attention to her inner turmoil? Sincerely, Caitlin's appearance on the court versus Bonner would have garnered a great deal of attention. Tension, inquiries, and headlines. Perhaps someone wished to completely escape that conflagration. Additionally, it's possible that holding Clark out had more to do with it than just groin rehab.
Stephanie White did tell us that they will be even more cautious with their approach to her return to play this time. Last time when she came back after injury, she didn't get any practice time, any opportunity to ramp up her conditioning.
Just when you believe the situation has reached its most bizarre point, sports experts enter the fray and don't mince words. They said this is a clown show. And what do you know? They may have a good idea. The inconsistency is their main complaint. Caitlin returned to the court immediately after suffering an injury earlier in the season due to a fever that prevented her from ramping up, practicing, or conditioning. She's good to go, it said. Cool. Include her. Without hesitation.